Hi everyone, my name is Irina and welcome back to Stories with the Shepherdess. Alright, let's get into it. Different background. I am at work today. My mom has taken Ksenia, so I am getting in a quick little podcast filming sesh. So I am skirting fleeces. We sheared in March. So I guess what I should say is welcome back. Thank you so much for joining me. If you don't know me, we are a wool and lavender farm based in York County, Pennsylvania. And we raise rare breed sheep and we get wool from them that we turn into yarn for sale. Let's hop into farm talk. I haven't chatted with you in a while. Things have been super crazy busy. We were shearing and then we were lambing and then it was Maryland sheep and wool time. It was just a whole bunch of stuff that we had to do, and we honestly I didn't have time to record. And I'm sorry about that. My goal is to, record more often. I figured I had a few quiet minutes, so I thought it would be the perfect time to have a little chat about what's been going on. I'm at work today. Mom has Ksenia, so it is much quieter and I am just going through and skirting fleeces. We sheared in the end of March, so we were just busy. We had Maryland sheep and wool prep. We did LYS day, which was fantastic, and then it was like lavender prep time. It was just so much going on. And so skirting took a back seat, and it is what it is. It's totally okay. But I'm back and I'm ready. And I seem to have increased the number of fleeces we have. Not because we bought any at Maryland, but because there's a lady down the street who raises alpacas and we buy fleece from her. And she was ready, so we got 15 more fleeces literally like 2 days ago. So I have now 35 from our flock plus the 15 from hers. And then I also, our shearer, we buy wool. He buys wool from some people and then sells it on people that don't do anything with their sheep. And he's my neighbor, so he'll just literally, like my neighbor at my house, so he'll just, text me and be like, hey, I'm dropping something off. So I've just been accumulating bags of wool. So we have like 4 or 5 fleeces from him too. But it's good because we love supporting other local farmers. At Maryland was a great time because we were able to chat with some farmers that we don't always get to see and talk about like, hey, what do you do with your wool? With the move from the shop, the change in the industry, supply chain problems from COVID, it has become more important, more now than ever, to support our local farmers and the people with their feet on the ground. So we don't have enough sheep to have this endless supply of yarn, which is why we manufacture our own Yorkshire medley, right? But for some of the breeds that we can't buy in bulk quantities from England, it's kind of nice to be able to have us, have something from them. So we have our Friends of the Flock yarns that we do. And so the fleeces that our shearer dropped off, and then the alpaca fleeces, they'll all go into our Friends of the Flock series. And it's just a nice way to support others. And moving into the farm, we've definitely become more niche, right? There's yarn companies that don't exist any longer that we used to carry, and then COVID just changed them and they ended up closing. There's some yarns that we can't get in any longer because like they didn't have a dye house anymore, and so they had to stop producing, and it was a big seller. So now we have like a hole in the market there, right, for like our customer base. So there's just a lot of stuff that like has changed, and we want to be able to fill that. We're not really just a yarn shop. We're not really just a wool shop. We're like a wool business, right? We want to keep spreading the woolly love, as I say, educating people on why it's important to use and wear wool. Talk about, hey, maybe you aren't actually allergic. Maybe it's the harsh detergents that commercial companies use. So I didn't have time to skirt, and that's fine. And now I've like tripled my fleeces. So I'm paying for it, but that's okay. I love getting my hands in wool. Honestly, skirting is My favorite activity has become my new knitting. I don't have time to knit any longer with the toddler, just being busy and with all the farm chores we have in the summer. So skirting is kind of like my knitting. I get my hands in wool, I get to pick my projects, I get to combine. I essentially get to make your next sweater, because my job with skirting is it's not just picking out all of the hay and grain and all the bits and bobs that have accumulated in the fleece from the season, but it's also pairing them up. Say, okay, cool, Cypress and Mac look similar. They have similar fiber qualities, they have similar length, and so yeah, it's just a ton of fun. Been skirting now. We've been, lambing. Lambing is so much fun. We have 7 lambs on the ground. We got to watch one of them actually give birth, Tinkerbell. She gave birth to a huge ram lamb, and it's just been wonderful. So right now it's a season of rams, but that's okay because, like I said, Cypress is getting old, so we are looking for a new sire. We like to keep 2 with sort of 2 different colors. So we have Curly, our white ram. He's gorgeous. He's got a gorgeous horn set. And we have Cypress. But this year we've had 2 ewes. We had, so firstborn to Penny were the twins, Harold and Jane, named after Jerry's relatives. And then we also had a big single out of Jossie, and that was a ram. His name is Kid Stone because my dad found him, and my dad was like at home, like recovering from kidney stones at the time. So he's Kid Stone, he's Kid. And then we had Tink have Peter. So Tinkerbell had a huge ram lamb. We named him Peter Pan because Tinkerbell, Peter Pan, anyways. Just had our last 2 girls lamb when we left for Maryland, sheep and wool. Margaret had twins. She had Phoebe, who's a little ewe lamb, and then she had Frederick, who's this big honkin' ram lamb. He's beautiful. He's all white with some black spots on him. Absolutely stunning. Mary had a single ram lamb who's like a beautiful little morit, sort of like got white markings on his face. Really gorge. So that was a ton of fun. So we lambed, we went to Maryland. It was a wonderful season. We've added a show to our list. We're going to be vending at Shenandoah now in the fall, right before Rhinebeck, because it's just, I don't know, it's important. We used to do Shenandoah back before we had a shop, and I don't know, I just feel like it's, yeah, I don't know, it's just important. So you can hear the lambs in the background. So that's what's been going on the farm. Now we're in lavender season. We've started spiking already. It's earlier than usual. We lost about 10% of our plants this season. So instead of 270, we're going in with 27 less. But fear not, because we have another 270 arriving from the greenhouse. I haven't really been knitting anything. We did a Marley Cowell knit along. We called it the Marley Madness, and that's the last time I think I picked up needles. Hey friends. What do we think is happening? There's little, nope, that's not Phoebe. Okay, so Phoebe and Charlie look exactly the same. So then Phoebe's there with her brother Fred. And then we have some of the bigger ones. That's Harold with the white stripe. Jane is the one with just the regular gummidget. And then Kid Stone has that beautiful white leg. Tink doesn't really let Peter Pan play with a lot of the other kids. Sometimes, but not all the time. So she's keeping him by himself back there. So sweet. Okay, now back to our regularly scheduled programming. I have a lot on my needles. I do have a project I want to do. It's called the Agnes Vest. And it's a combo of granny squares. I know, hear me out. Granny squares and it's just a little vest. Worsted weight, 7 colors. And I think I want to make it out of Seedale. Well, let me rephrase that. I know I'm making it out of Seedale. I just have to figure out what I want my main color to be. But it looks just like the right sort of nostalgic, but still hip. I don't know. I saw the photo of it and it's everything. I'll put it in here. It's everything that I want to look like. That should be a ton of fun. So that's kind of what or what isn't on my needles. That's what I hope to have on my needles, I guess. And now on to shop talk. So we did LYS Day, which was fantastic. We did a make and take shibori inspired silk scarf dyeing activity. Great to connect with people. Now we are in the thick of trying to figure out what we do this summer other than farm. So we're going to be doing, on June 10th, we have a peaceful pasture yoga event with Monica of Flow Mamas. She's coming to the farm, and we're doing a 9 a.m. to 10 a.m. yoga sesh. I'll put the registration link in the description below. So Friday mornings, we're doing story time. The summer storytime series is what we're calling it. I think we're doing it twice a month until August. I'll put the links for signups there too. For kids aged 2 to 6, but older kiddos are allowed to attend. And of course, you just have to remember to stay with your kid while they're here. Got in the newest Lane issue 17 or Lina issue 17 from Finland. It's gorgeous. We also just got their Making Memories book in, as well as a restock of Moosh and Friends. Some fantastic publications. Lina Publishing is literally going above and beyond with their quality and they're just like timeless like resources, right? So I'm actually I understand that like we need to grow and pivot, right, as any business does. So I'm actually going back for my master's, which is really exciting. I've been out of school I finished my undergrad, I guess 5 years ago, which isn't that long, but post-pandemic it is. So I'm going back for my master's in marketing, and I will be doing a remote program through William and Mary. It's my dream school, and I just feel like it was the right move. And so I just have some weekends that I'll have to be down there. But it's an accelerated program, so 15 months this fall, and I'll end in winter of 2024. It'll allow me to figure out how the world has changed and how we need to change with it and respond to how consumers are responding, right? And I can't wait. I love William and Mary. I've always loved it, but I did my undergrad local. And so I'm excited to go to my dream school for my graduate program. It's just been a really nice, relaxed sort of day. Oh my goodness, I forgot our summer color series. We did this last year. It was a subscription, 3 months, 3 different things of yarn, plus some extra goodies, and then like a curated like pattern guide to go with it. Super fun. I loved it. You get to try out our different bases, and Jerry they're one of a kind, so never to be repeated. Once they're done, they're done. So I would recommend that you try that as well for yourself. Treat yourself this summer. All right, I'm gonna get back to work, but it was lovely chatting with you, and thank you so much for joining me, and I hope to see you next time on the next episode of Stories with the Shepherdess. See ya.